Welcome to the Electric Playground. Today on the show, we explore the Elder Scrolls Online in the Rundown.
Plus, we've got more Borderlands than you can shake a stick at, starting with the Handsome Collection.
And we stay on Pandora with Tales from the Borderlands.
What are you looking at?
It's Pandora. What did you expect?
Yeah, no, I know.
Also coming up, a look back at the original versions of Borderlands, the pre-sequel, and Borderlands 2, and much more today on EP Daily. Brought to you by EB Games. I'm your host, Victor Lucas, bringing you the latest on everything cool every single day. We've got a Borderlands extravaganza for you, but before we get to that, let's see what's happening in the Rundown. Star Wars Episode 7 director J.J. Abrams might not be done with the galaxy far, far away for a very long time. Disney is rumored to want Abrams back to direct Star Wars Episode 9, which is slated to hit theaters in 2019. No official announcements have been made, but Latino Review reports that the studio wants him to return after seeing an early rough cut of Episode 7. That means they must really like what they're seeing, but audiences, of course, won't get to see the film until this December. Whether Abrams returns for Episode 9 or not, we do know that Episode 8 will be helmed by Looper director Rian Johnson. The Elder Scrolls Online is getting a major do-over in a bid to win back players. Bethesda has released the Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited, a revamped and rebranded version of the fantasy MMO. The biggest new feature is that the game no longer requires a monthly subscription fee. You'll still need to buy a copy, but once you do, you'll be able to enjoy it without spending any money. An optional monthly subscription is still available, giving players a premium account with special in-game loot and a progression boost. Bethesda is also including an in-game store where everyone can buy customization items. Many other big MMO games have adopted a similar model, with fewer and fewer relying solely on paid subscriptions. The new Tamriel Unlimited edition of the Elder Scrolls Online is the same version of the game that will be released on the PS4 and Xbox One this June. Big stories in the Rundown, and here to help me discuss them is my buddy Marissa Roberto.
Oh, hello, Victor Lucas.
You just went to ArenaNet and you saw how successful those people are with Guild Wars and their buy once and you get it all. Does it make sense that Elder Scrolls is doing this?
This makes complete sense, especially seeing all the success that these guys at ArenaNet have had. The people that have been there for years and years, and they love the community. They love investing their time into the game as well. So a game that Elder Scrolls, any kind of Elder Scrolls game is amazing, and to be a part of a team that gets to work on that for years to come would be so exciting. I like that they're adopting this model. I think it's a great idea. It
makes good business sense, and it's also good for the player as well. It's a little bit of a drag for the early adopters, I would imagine. I think there's probably some people with some broken hearts out there that probably were paying that monthly fee for a long time. It does feel like the age of the monthly subscription is kind of done, and World of Warcraft kind of milked it and got all of the, the bulk of the subscriptions out there. Maybe something else will come out that will bring that back, but there's so much choice right now, right?
Exactly. If I pay for something, I want to pay for it once and be done with it, and that's just how I feel about all the DLC that comes out as well with other games. So the fact that we're doing this and I can have the Elder Scrolls stamp on it, that it gets me excited, and the fact that they're going to be coming to consoles. Yeah,
that's a big deal too. All right, now over on the Star Wars front, J.J. Abrams has not delivered all that much on Episode 7. We haven't seen too much. We saw the cool new lightsaber. I like the lightsaber.
Of course you do.
The Disney folks have seen some footage. They want him back for 9. Does that make you excited about 7?
Sure, yeah, of course. I was always excited. I mean, listen, we always get too excited about this stuff.
Right.
We talk about it way too early.
You have to temper,
We do have to temper. I do like that they have confidence in their director, of course. I want to have confidence in the director as well. And I always have, though.
I love JJ. I think he's capable of some incredible stuff, and I'm really looking forward to Episode 7. I can't wait to see what the news is around Rian Johnson taking 8, and I wouldn't mind if JJ comes back for 9. I haven't even seen 7 yet.
We like JJ.
We like him. I also wouldn't mind him taking over some duties on Indiana Jones.
Okay, let's just hold the phone.
All right, okay. We've got to go back to games now. We are talking about the Handsome Collection, and who better to talk about that than our own Scott Jones. Of course, we're talking about the new Borderlands.
I'm with Randy Pitchford. He is the guy in charge of Gearbox Software, makers of the Borderlands series. He's got more Borderlands to tell us about. Randy, what's new? What's going on?
We launched Borderlands, the pre-sequel, at the end of last year, and people loved it. But the biggest thing customers told us was, can you bring it to us on next gen? At first, we weren't planning on it, but we got to work and we got some help, and it's happening. Borderlands, the pre-sequel, is coming to next gen, and because it's the same engine as Borderlands 2, it wasn't too much more work to bring Borderlands 2 with it. So Borderlands 2 and Borderlands, the pre-sequel, are finally coming to the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, and it's called the Handsome Collection.
This sounds very appealing, and in fact, I'm going to interrupt this interview so I can go pre-order it right now.
This is awesome!
I'm very excited. This universe keeps growing, though. Did you guys expect this when you first made the first Borderlands game?
When you work on something that you care about, you always hope. Yeah. And ultimately, once you release something into the wild, it's up to the customers. And people love Borderlands, which thrills us because we love working on it. And of course, we've had a lot of fun with all of the DLC content. So much DLC content that we've created to add on to Borderlands 2 and Borderlands the pre-sequel. And one of the greatest things about the Handsome Collection is all of it's included. It's an incredible value. And because it's the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, it's better. It's like high fidelity, high performance, high frame rate. It looks incredible, and we're just having a blast.
I did an interview with Sid Meier, and he's one of these guys who's just been around doing this stuff, been successful for so long. The same is becoming true of you. You've been doing this for so many years. How do you do it? And how do you keep making great stuff like this?
I don't know. There's probably something in the DNA of entertainers where we just want to spend our time to create stuff and add cool things to the world. And everybody that I have the good fortune of working with at Gearbox shares that feeling. We just want to entertain the world. And we'll create and we'll take risks and we'll do stuff. And sometimes people like what we make and sometimes they don't. But to spend our time knowing that we're trying to create joy and happiness for other people is just a thrill. And guys like Sid, I mean, these guys are legends. Turns out I've been around now for 15, 20 years in the industry, but I feel like I'm just getting started. I feel like I'm still just figuring stuff out, and guys like Sid are the masters. Brian Martella, my partner, his first gig, he worked for Sid on the original Civilization. There were 7 people on that team. Brian was one of them. And I remember when I first worked with him back at 3D Realms on the Duke Nukem stuff, when he told me that, I was just on the ground bowing to him because, Sid has had such an influence on all of us. Everybody who joins this industry probably feels a lot like I do, where we're in the shadows or on the shoulders of these giants that came before us that taught us what we know.
The new Handsome Collection is taking players to the Wasteland tomorrow, and we're already working on a review.
And don't go away, we've got a lot more Borderlands for you right after this.
Now, what are we talking about?
Welcome back to EP Daily. Our rip-roaring Borderlands extravaganza continues.
That's right, we're gonna show you how to collect weapons, not in the game, but in real life.
No, not IRL. Our lawyers wouldn't allow it.
Oh, just what the world needs. More lawyers, more guns, and more ridiculous abbreviation.
Instead, we've got the next best thing. It's Tales from the Borderlands.
Tales from the Borderlands is the latest from Telltale Games. This is episode 1, and our good friend Troy Baker is in the game.
Yeah, he's the main character named Reese, and Chris Hardwick. Shout out to that guy. Holy crap, the Nerdist is working all the time. He plays a character named Vaughn.
When are you going to be in the game? You should be in there.
I don't know. I need an agent, I think.
Put Vic in the game. Listen.
And Nolan North is in there. Patrick Warburton is in there. What's impressive is to see the production values of Telltale's titles just improve and get better and better.
I like the art style
quite
amazing,
a bit.
Yeah. And, there's no other game that really looks like this.
Yeah.
You put the game machine down and you just kind of just watch it. You're like, oh, I'm watching a movie, but I also get to participate in this movie.
Yeah, we know the deal here with the Telltale Games. They're choose-your-own-adventure type experiences.
Now, what were we talking about before we were so rudely interrupted?
I think it was something about buying a vault key.
I never cared what the fictional world of Borderlands is. Pandora, right. I don't care about the people who live in it.
Why?
I don't care about the cities.
Why don't you?
Have you been to a museum?
Yes.
And in the museum, there are paintings.
Yes.
Now, in the painting, you might see a baby on a blanket.
Right.
And in the background is a tree.
Yeah.
The plot of this game, the characters in this game, it's all tree. It's all background.
I disagree. We're finally starting to get some characters that we care about.
Shooter mechanics, which are excellent. Those are the best.
Sure.
And without them, you want to have you want to play Borderlands without first-person shooter? You want to play Borderlands without plundering for loot?
Clearly I did.
I don't.
Because I love this game and I love these characters and I like that we're starting to get our teeth and our mind wrapped around some new characters. I was glad to see that we've got people working on Hyperion. They're embittered. They want to move up in the world. So they come up with this crazy scheme that takes them down to Pandora to rip off a Vault Key.
In any of the Borderland games?
Not really. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying is that the other
start now?
Because this is a great cohesive sort of track to pay attention to. It builds on the franchise. It seemed crazy when we heard that Gearbox and Telltale were working together. This is the fruit of their labor,
you know what
and it's great.
It's hard not to see this as a business decision. You know,
I disagree.
We're all at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to games.
Absolutely.
We're not breaking any new ground here.
So this looks not good.
We got ourselves a hero here. What are you looking at?
It's Pandora. What did you expect?
Yeah, no, I know.
This helps to enrich Pandora. This gives us context.
Can I shoot anything? No.
You can. You can get a little bit of the action-oriented stuff. You can control
even come
robots.
Close to comparing.
It does. It's not the same experience.
No.
But it enriches it.
Every now and then, a little bit of gameplay element gets in there, but it's so unsatisfying.
No, I disagree.
It's all QuickTime events. It's all press this before this thing disappears.
It's a story-driven experience.
I know it is a story-driven experience, but read a book instead.
This is a fun new way to energize this brand and these characters and this world.
I am fighting with you right now.
And I like the new, like the little sort of pieces of information we get from this old master thief who, there's a lot of turncoats in here, a lot of people up for themselves, which is part of the fiction of Pandora.
I'm glad all the people are working.
This emboldens and enriches that whole experience.
You're going to be in episode 2. Keep this up.
I really liked Tales from the Borderlands, much to my surprise.
Please.
I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. What are you giving it to?
This is Vic's application.
What are you giving it? You sarcastic son of a bee.
Giving it a 5.
Brutal.
Tales from the Borderlands Episode 2 is out now.
And perhaps earlier in the show, you saw my story on the Handsome Collection, which features Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel.
You must be pretty pleased with yourself.
Well, Randy Pitchford and I are on Facebook together, and last night I sent him a message, but he didn't write me back.
Oh, well, to celebrate your newfound friendship, maybe we should take a look back at the pre-sequel review.
Randy, I wrote you, now you have to write me.
Handsome Jack is back in a brand new Borderlands game, but this one's a little bit different. It's called Borderlands the Pre-Sequel. It takes place between Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2. So we see a lot of threaded and crossover characters and stories.
That was invigorating.
The RPG formula is hard at play here. You can level up your different weapons, and new weapons include laser beams. The looting is, you're going to spend so much time on your menus and so many times opening every crate and box that you see everywhere. And you are introduced in playing as different characters that were either enemies or NPCs. And of course, the big reveal or the big news with this one is you can play as a claptrap named the Frag Trap. And I did play as him, and it warns you twice before you choose him. Are you sure you want to be this dude? And I gotta tell you, it was not that fun. And part of the reason why is his melee attack is just his little mechanical R2-D2 arm going, and it was just so wimpy. What happens in this game is you're on the moon surface called Elpis quite a lot, which impacts the whole game design because it's low gravity and you also have to keep looking for oxygen. But as the Claptrap, you don't need air, so that's a benefit there.
Damn my psychosomatic need for oxygen.
And also his super ability is the ability to morph into whatever offensive trait would be most appropriate in each particular circumstance. So when you press the button, he'll turn into a giant thing with 2 machine guns or whatever.
That's so much fun to play as a character like that because it's so different.
It is different after leveling up to 6 with this character. And I know it'll probably get way more interesting the deeper you go, but I don't know if I want this.
You've had enough of the Claptrap.
I went to Athena, the new gladiator character.
Nothing can get through my shield.
You don't have the targeting system that you would expect for a lot of the shooters that we've played in the past.
Yeah, it's not Destiny, which is the thing that we just came off of in terms of shooting precision. But in terms of content and breadth and scope and scale, I like the vibe of this, even though it's relatively more of the same.
Yeah.
It's still, like, it's more fun than Destiny. You know what I'm saying? Like, Destiny is...
because if this has a story that we can follow.
True, I guess that's part of it.
Characters that we can fall in love with.
Yes.
This is kind of exciting.
Yeah, our story just began with us getting off a bus. This sounds all explosive and stuff.
Stop complimenting the prison.
this wasn't really a next-gen game, even though we're playing it.
Yeah, it's a PS3, 360. We played it on the PC.
Right, but it doesn't feel new. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't.
And that's my issue with Borderlands in general. But what switches everything out and makes this more interesting is that we're on a moon base, which is cool. I like the moon buggy. I like the anti-gravity hover bike thing that you get.
Yes, there's a reason why people love this franchise.
And the characters.
I am the law! The law doesn't make mistakes!
I think this is a really great addition. I don't think it is the knock 'em dead, oh my god, this kills all the other Borderlands work that's done before, but it's definitely a great embellishment, and if you're a fan, you will not be disappointed.
Oh no, fans are going to buy this game for sure.
I do think, though, it is time for us to get a glimpse of what the future of current-gen potential of Borderlands could mean. Maybe
That's true.
lack of loading times in between areas.
That would be nice.
Are you f***ing serious?
This is one of those games that I'm thinking about still, and I want to go back and play more.
Oh, for sure.
So it definitely has that pull.
And I'm sure the DLC is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
What are you giving it?
It gets an 8.
8.5 for me.
A little behind-the-scenes trivia I wrote to Randy again while we were watching that story, and still no response, Randy.
I love how that's trivia. Well, maybe this will make him happy. We've got more Borderlands after this. Welcome back to EP Daily. We're all pumped about Borderlands: The Handsome Collection. We already took a look at one of the games, so let's take a look at the other. Here's Borderlands 2.
Welcome back to Reviews on the Run. Vic and I are standing next to this rock because we need to break it open because we are 100% certain, 100%, that there is loot inside this damn thing.
It's because we've been playing Borderlands 2.
It is Borderlands 2 time, one of the most anticipated titles of 2012. This is from our good friends Randy Pitchford at Gearbox.
Love those guys.
I love those guys as well.
Love Randy, too. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He is a big geek for games and loves making big console experiences.
Tons of hype around this thing. Does it live up to the hype, Victor Lucas?
I think deservedly so. Yes, it does live up to the hype. It doesn't deviate too far away from Borderlands 1. I mean, it does feel very much like an extension. I mean, it's better than that because everything is tuned. All of the AI on the enemies is better. The shooting feels better. I like the vehicle options a little bit better this time.
Let me tell you what is a lot better, remarkably better from my point of view, and that is I feel like the characters are a little deeper, a little richer. I feel like there's better writing this time around.
Is amazing.
I feel like Claptrap is really the heart and soul of this damn thing. I'm so endeared of this robot.
I know, even all the cursory characters, all the people that you meet, even the ones roaming around the towns.
It's one part early in the game when Claptrap notices that there are monsters coming from holes in the walls. He's like, look out, those monsters are coming from those wall sphincters.
They say Jack's drilling operations are causing those earthquakes. That, or your mom just got out of bed. Zing!
And I'm like, who thinks of this stuff? Well, I'll tell you who thinks of it. The guys at Gearbox.
Yes,
they come up with this stuff, and I think there's so much cleverness buried in this game. And that's really what it's about, because the first-person shooting action, it's great. It's above average. It's better than, say, BioShock.
Well, it's pretty tight.
It's not the tightest, though.
I know, it's not Call of Duty, it's not a Halo game, but for the expanse that this game is, I mean, it's a 30-hour role-playing thing that is supposed to be played in cooperative play.
I also really found myself charmed by the villain in this game. Handsome Jack is great.
Excellent.
And you keep finding all of these little voice recorders around him. You keep getting his voice. He keeps chiming in, and he keeps threatening you, and he keeps talking about how he's going to destroy you. But he does it in such a clever, just intelligent way. And there's so much intelligence behind every choice in this game. I loved it.
The biggest complaint you can throw at this is that it feels a lot like the first one, which was also amazing.
So much personality. You know, my big goal in this was to go in search of some soul and some heart in this thing, and I didn't think there was any at first.
Just Scooter is good enough,
The first 8 or 10 hours, I'm like, there's no soul, there's no heart. And then Claptrap, he's the soul and heart of this whole
Scooter,
thing.
man. Those guys are amazing.
I love Claptrap so much. I don't like dolls or figures or whatever, figurines, whatever they're called, but I would like one.
Action figure.
If someone wants to make a doll of Claptrap for me.
An action figure of Claptrap would be awesome.
Vic's hackles are up.
Yeah. What are you going to give Borderlands 2?
I can't wait to go home and play more of it. It's a 9 out of 10.
Gets a 9 from me as well. Awesome game, Gearbox.
You know, it's hard to believe that I was so young and so virile just 3 short years ago. Reviewing video games really takes a toll on my body. And listen, we've got more EP for you after this.
If you want more EP, go to our website, epn.tv, for bonus content and full episodes. We're also on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to EP Daily. It is time now for the best part of today's show. It is the Twitter question of the day. This one comes from Joel Reimer. He's at JoeCool7. I guess 6 must have been taken.
Yep.
He asks, do you think mobile games will cannibalize the home/handheld markets or coexist? That's a heavy one. Victor Lucas?
Well, I think Nintendo sort of got us all thinking about this when they made their big announcement last week, and they're kind of placing their bets in every different area here, you know, because I think they're going to do very well with the mobile stuff that they're going to get into, and I think they're using that mobile stuff to be a bit of a commercial for their sort of more robust games that they can get on console and handheld devices.
All right.
So far they have all coexisted, and if anybody's going to prove out that they can, I think it's going to be Nintendo.
It'll be Nintendo. I agree with you completely. I like that. They just, I don't know, they just make us happy, and I feel they make me happy anyway, and I feel like this is just a good thing. I don't think they're going to cannibalize. I don't even like that word, Joe.
Yeah, you know, and honestly, Sony and PlayStation have had a little bit of trouble with trying to sort of offer that in every different category, right?
Yeah.
PlayStation Mobile's just been closed down, so it's interesting that Nintendo's ramping up as PlayStation's moving away from a little bit of that stuff. Good question, Joel. Hey, and if you've got a question, you can visit us at our website, epn.tv, and also get caught up on episodes there.
We've got more coming for you in an upcoming episode of EP Daily, including a look at the science of Interstellar.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
EP would like to thank its sponsors, Nintendo, Xbox. EP's mobile coverage is brought to you by Gameloft, makers of Dragon Mania Legends, which you can play for free right now.
We got this far, farther than any human in history.
Oh, not far enough.
It was a great experience and really an honor for me to collaborate with Kip over the course of several years to talk through all the concepts in the film. And the idea was really just to present, I mean, the idea is that truth is stranger than fiction. Our universe is far stranger than the presentations of it you've seen in film to this point. The phenomena like the title, gravity around us, very quickly spinning black hole, the distortions of time and relativity. We really wanted to show the kind of human impact that that might have.
We'll find a way. We always have.